Well, you may not believe this, but Pewdiepie and the Millennials can potentially destroy the elite. And that's really what they're scared of. I was wondering why the hell Wall Street was paying so much attention to this guy, because I'm thinking he's a guy who's on the internet playing games and stuff, and like, why are they worried about him? Because he actually has more influence than the New York Times. And they're trying to figure out what's the formula, how the hell he got that influence. Now, he doesn't say nothing political, he doesn't say anything, but if he did, ooh, that would be pretty bad. Um, and it don't even have to be political. It could be something about health, like, some of the. I just remember. Well, I'm going to tell you today. I looked at. I asked him for a manual review on a video I did a long time ago about holistic doctors being killed and stuff, right? Well, they didn't like it. They wouldn't improve it even with the manual review, and I was like, boy, that's interesting. Usually, when they don't approve something with the manual review, that means you hit the nail on the head, right? Not that it was a big, money generator or anything like that, but it was truthful, right? As a matter of fact, I'll put one of those little blocks on the end of this. I don't remember what the hell I said on it, but you can see what the hell I said on that thing. But this guy, they're scared of, or they're scared of the phenomena of YouTube. They're scared of independence. I put this out before. But there's more to this. As of around August of 2016, I noticed it, and a bunch of other people noticed it, that they started like saying, you can't say cuss words on YouTube and all this. Like, they used to allow it, but it was like, sort of like they just started enforcing the existing rules more strict, right? He noticed it too, PewDiePie too, right? Now, I think that's because there's like a slow, consecrated, if that's the right word, campaign to put the squeeze on the independent voices, right? Now, as of March 22nd this year, 2017, something else happened. Now, I noticed it, and and also even the beginning of this year, like the usual revenues went down, all this kind of crap. But the thing is, most people aren't going to do this for absolute. You're getting a lot of independent voices out there doing things because they get some kind of money for it, right? That's really what it comes down to. But the catch-22 is the main people that are providing the advertising money on YouTube that also provides the money for the independents. The main people that are providing that advertising money are the elitists themselves. In other words, big corporations have the most advertising money. So YouTube has to answer to that, right? Being truthful on here, so I'm just giving you a ration. So they're not going to want to pay a bunch of people criticizing them or trying to undermine policies that they want. Okay? So people are crying about, how come YouTube's doing this and how come YouTube? Well, you know why? It's not really YouTube per se. It's the guys behind the scenes that really are the biggest revenue streams for YouTube, right? I mentioned this on the other video. But the secret actually to counteract, because I'm going to tell you one of the biggest problems, and I know this was a problem in the 60s with the boomer generation during the Vietnam War. Like, well, there's the people like, there's the joke out there, the only Woodstock I know was the Woodstock of the gun I used to carry, the rifle I used to carry in Vietnam, right? It was a generation that produced different types of people, but actually, generally speaking, the baby boomer generation was a lot weaker than the generation of the Great Depression and World War II. The millennials, even though they like to mock the baby boomer generation, are generally speaking weaker than even the baby boomer generation, who in turn are weaker than the generation of World War II and the Great Depression. But it doesn't have to be that way. Right now, what I'm trying to do, and that's why I wasn't been uploading video today, except for a couple little things on this other channel, which probably got about 10 views on it, if that. I'm I'm trying to attract millennials to my channel because I started thinking about this. I says, it's not that my channel's entertaining per se, or sometimes it is somewhat. It's a mixed bag. Um, but I got a lot of MacGyver stuff on it, and I hate a lot of various topics. It's almost like you really can't say what the hell my channel's about. It's got so many different topics. But there's so many different dimes I drop, and also so many different little things that I know that millennials could probably benefit from my channel quite a bit. Um, and and I was starting to think about some of this other stuff too, because they probably are going to really attack the crap out of Mr. Donald Trump coming up when the weather starts getting warm. You're going to see all the protests on the universities and stuff. And now that they attacked one of the biggest media, independent media platforms, in other words, anybody that's on, like, in other words, if you're going to put out videos on, you know, something that happened at Berkeley University in California upcoming this summer in 2017, maybe you're gone. Maybe you already left YouTube. Like I noticed, this one guy, COINTEL Pro, whatever his name was, Joe Wayne. He said, "To hell with this," as of a couple days ago, because he noticed what was going on. I noticed it too. Now, I really don't play the game. I just upload information. I don't really play the game to try to maximize money on this, so I know I can fix it up and do whatever the hell I want, because I don't, I'm not looking to make gobs of money. But there's a certain amount I kind of want, up to a point. That's my motivation. Otherwise, well, shit, I'd be like, yeah, if I was going to make gobs of money, I'd be fine with that. But I don't think I'm capable of doing that. I'm looking for keeping it in a certain tax bracket, combined with my CPA money. That's what I'm looking for. And so that's why I'm not really worried about the way other people are. But I'm going to tell you that the way to really attack the elite is through the millennials. You see, even back in the 1960s, the hippie generation, some of them really picked up on stuff that others didn't. I know the news media wouldn't put this information out, but for instance, there was always the protest against the Vietnam War, and you're saying, well, you got one group fighting in the Vietnam War who were baby boomers, and then you got other groups that were protesting the Vietnam War, and it seemed like the yin and the yang and opposing forces. But within that group that was opposing the Vietnam War, there was a group that was smart enough to bring out that the elite in the West were actually funding both sides of that war through policies of giving loans to Russia so they could buy essential equipment, which helped them out financially, that they used that equipment to then go to China, and then China again supplied, like, Ford motor vehicles, things like that, to the North Vietnamese. And some of those people that were protesters knew what the hell they were going on. But in other words, that's the kind of analogy that the millennials got to do today, like really peel the wrapper back off the elite. Everything is a freaking scam, and everything's an angle. That's what they're worried about, because they're getting a lot of exposure to their games on YouTube. So they realize that, of course, and since they are actually footing the bill for YouTube, the main ones that are footing the bill for YouTube are the biggest corporations, spend the most money on advertising. So what do you think they're going to tell the CEO of YouTube what to do if she wants the money coming in to this entity? What do you think they're going to do? So that's kind of the catch-22. But what I'm looking at is, I know, like, one thing I think, and maybe it's kind of an indirect approach. I know one thing millennials kind of lacked over previous. And you know what? It's been getting worse every generation. Man, if you would have took somebody back in the 1920s, even compared them to the 1950s, no contest. The one in the 1920s probably know way more than the one in the 1950s. And every 30 years or 20 years or new generation, it's like you know less and less. Maybe you're more technologically involved, or maybe you're more hip with certain things. But it's like, as far as like basic stuff that could be hands-on and very practical, man, I don't know. Millennials are pretty, generally speaking, not all of them, are pretty lacking. They're strong in some areas, but there's a lot of stuff on my channel that actually addresses that. Although I don't know if they'd freaking like it because they probably look at it maybe to get bored to death. I don't really don't know. But you know, another thing I noticed too, they said that 20% of the millennials today identify with some aspect of the LBGT community: lesbian, bisexual, transgender, queer, gender blender, gender fluid, or whatever the hell it is, right? And honestly, I know what that game is. That's been programmed in people's heads. That's a game for depopulation. That's an elitist plot too. And I don't know if that's exactly the worst thing in the world, because maybe the world is going to get too full of too many people. I don't know. I'm not sure. But that is a plan of the elitist. And I don't think a lot of people really realize that, but that's the deal. But, you know, on the other side of it is, there's a lot of things that, well, it's almost like comparing when J.P. Morgan was around and Nikola Tesla had he developed free wireless electricity that it could be given to the world, and J.P. Morgan said, no, you can't do that. Well, who knows? What if the situation wasn't that way, and say, you know, it happened? Well, who the hell knows? Maybe the world could support many times more people. I don't know. Or maybe we'd be going on other planets, something that's unimaginable today, right? And the universe is pretty damn big. I mean, the universe is not going to get overpopulated with people. Maybe the world might, but the universe ain't. So, you know, I don't know what the hell these elitists are, freaking myopic know-it-alls. That's one reason I don't like them. And what they do is they got to have a racket. They always got to have a steady racket income stream. You know, like, it's like, you know, that's why some people could bitch about. Well, actually, some of the worst people that freaking are the worst for private areas are people working in government, man, because they freaking don't have to freaking make it happen no matter what. You know, as when you're in a private area. But I think Mr. Pewdiepie over here, he can he's got so much clout. I don't know what the hell he's aware of exactly, but he's extremely intelligent. You know, some people are trying to like copy him with doing games and stuff, and they're wondering what the hell is the formula. Well, the formula is really this: he's intelligent, he's got a bright, positive attitude, and you know, he's witty. You know, he's funny. He's a comedian, right? I mean, it's not like he just plays games. It's like, you know, maybe you could say some of the. And you know, this is another line they freaking pushed from the. I don't know if it was the Wall Street Journal, but it was some like CNBC. They were talking about not just PewDiePie, but other people on YouTube that were like entertainers, and they're saying, well, because they're starting to bitch about their views right now and stuff, right? And what they said was, well, what do you expect? I mean, when people go on, you know, a major television network, you know, you're lucky you get a 5 or 6 year long run. Now, if you get a 5 or 6 year long run on the internet, that's a lifetime. Now, that was the analysis that, like, the big boys, the mega bullshit artists were putting out, like CNBC or, you know, the Wall Street clowns. And the other thing they suggested was, and this is bullshit, because how the hell they know what the millennials want? They said that the millennials are no longer as interested in games like they used to be. They're more interested in like um, cooking or something. I was like, cooking? Really? I mean, how the hell would this jackass know what the hell the millennials are freaking interested in? You know? How would they know? They don't know. I mean, he's just freaking giving a cover story because the real deal is they don't want these independent voices on here, no matter how innocent they might be. In PewDiePie doesn't tell you about Jamie Dimon's a piece of crap or something. He doesn't say that. He's playing games, but they don't. But they realize that somebody like him, well, he's smart. I mean, he could do whatever the hell he wants, man. He can freaking pull the rug out from. He can really piss him off and say, put some other stuff out, like not business or political, but even like, some of the, I don't know, just talk about the healing herbs once in a while, boy. Let 100 million people find out about that shit, especially the millennials. Besides weed, I know that's a millennial freaking herb right there, but it would really piss them off then. And some of these things that are, well, they're true, man. They've been around in nature for thousands of years in different cultures. They work. The problem is they can't make money off them. They don't like that kind of stuff. Healing herbs, man. They could do all kinds of good shit. Um, Actually, that's maybe, I don't know what the hell my channel's about because it's like there's 50,000. There's a lot of different subjects on it. I mean, I just do whatever the hell I feel like, pretty much. But um, I always try to put something out that I figure maybe a lot of people don't know. You know, some people know it, some people don't, whatever. So it's kind of like educational, I guess, in somewhat, more or less, in a laid back way. But I also delve down the trail with some of the crap that goes on, through cloak and dagger games that go on with the politics and the business crap. But and I might put some more stuff out on that because I'm thinking that since they're not liking independent people, well, just give me more freaking motivation and freaking put more stuff out like that. I don't care. I really. But this guy, I think they fear this guy. They fear him about as much. I don't want to compare him to Donald Trump, but it's like and tell you the truth, I didn't trust Donald Trump at first. I put out videos thinking I thought he was a ringer for the Clintons. I didn't think he was legit. Now I think he's legit because it was taking me a while, but I just didn't think he was legit. Many times I was flip flopping back and forth about that guy. But the more pissed off they are on this guy, the more legit he is. You know? So I'm not one of these Trump worshippers. Now I really do like the guy. 'Cause I realize they're all pissed off and out of him and worried. Because he's an upstart. And they're scared of anybody that's big on YouTube that they can't control. Because as PewDiePie says, I don't forget what his real name is, whatever the hell. You should never put your real name out here. You'd probably get freaking killed or some shit. I'm not putting my real name out here. I'd be dead because I get involved in. I don't just play games, man. I tell people shit they probably don't want to hear. I probably made a few enemies already, I'm sure. But you know, as far as PewDiePie, he doesn't get into all that politics shit. And the thing is, they're still scared of him. They're scared of this guy because he's got that much influence, and they can't figure it out. And as you said, he's a one horse show. He's the producer, he's this, he's that, which means he's smart as shit. To tell you the truth, when it comes right down to it, I'm not into games, okay? So I don't watch his stuff, but I recognize what I picked up on is I saw a video a week ago or so, where the Wall Street Journal, he was retorting back, replying to the Wall Street Journal, who was examining this guy and saying, well, he just plays games on YouTube and he makes so much money and shit, and then the Wall Street Journal people were watching his videos and shit and then bitching they were too long or something. I was like, what the hell? So what are you watching them for, you jerks? Because they want to understand. They don't like something like this. They don't like that. But that's their mentality, man. It's it works with anything. It's like, the classic example was the banks and the farmers. The farmers out in the Midwest, even back in the 1800s and stuff. The farmers start making money. They start making money. The banks want to target them. They want to like get them on a hook for more loans, so they can call those loans at one time or another and take over the farm and own their ass. And then the farmer freaking works the farm, but he doesn't own it. Well, that's kind of like what they do with the oil industry too. It goes up and goes down. They manipulate the markets, and they keep people on the short side. People maybe borrowed a lot of money to try to get something going, and what happened is, they pull the rug out from under them by dropping the price. Now, I don't think, I'll tell you the truth, I saw some of the stuff on the internet about some of the people whining about, I don't want to say they're whining. Well, they're complaining about, this is my chosen profession to be a media producer, and now you're doing this to me and shit. And I was thinking, well, you know what? Most people don't get to do their chosen profession anyway, man. That's life, okay? That's the way it works, man. This crap is not my chosen profession anyway. Doing this shit on YouTube is not my chosen profession. What I'm actually doing this for is kind of like to help people screwing around on it, and I know some shit, man, but I wish I could freaking put out what all I know. But as soon as I put out something a little too hot and heavy, they don't like it. So I gotta watch, how much I could say on here. Man, I could tell you a lot of crap, man. And sometimes I actually put some of it out on old videos. It went right over everybody's head. There's no views on that shit. They don't know what the hell I was talking about. It's like, good, whatever. That's probably good. But bottom line is, well, to tell you the truth, my attitude is, there's certain people I care about, and there's other people I don't care about. And Wall Street gets blown up someday by some false flag attack. I ain't gonna give a rat's ass. I didn't even give a damn when the freaking Twin Towers came down, even though I figured out it was a pile of bullshit within 24 hours. I didn't care because to tell you the truth, that's the way I was thinking. I didn't really give a damn. And I figure anybody working up in the World Trade Center is probably except for like the maintenance people and the window washers and shit like that. But one of those executives and highfalutin yo-yos up there, I really didn't give a damn. Oh well, too bad. And that sounds mean, but I don't really give a damn about certain people, man. Certain people, I think they're cockroaches. I don't care. I mean, it's not. I don't. Certain people I give a damn about. Some people I don't. And usually, I recognize, but they don't give a damn about me. I can tell you that right now. They don't give a damn about me either. If I was in the building getting blown up, they wouldn't give a shit about me either. So, what comes around goes around. It's not like I'm being mean to them, and because they all act nice, but they're full of it. I can tell you that right now. But yeah, I think what's coming up is, now that I've seen something happen here about in the last week, where some people really noticed, what's going on with the algorithms and shit. I said, well, I know what's going on with the algorithms. The big money that's freaking footing the bill for YouTube doesn't like these independent producers that might say something that could thwart their plans. And their plans have already been thwarted pretty bad already with the election of Mr. Trump. The only reason actually, they could have made the election go to Hillary easy because they almost did. I mean, it was close. I mean, but the whole election's rigged to the max, right? I don't want to be too political here, but I'm telling you the fact. And the deal is, they realized he had so much, exposure that the general public knew which I knew for freaking about 25, 30 years, a lot of that crap. I knew about it way back when. And that they decided she wouldn't be an effective tool for him anymore. Besides, she's garbage, man. She's like she's like dead wood lady, man. She's like ugly old hag and shit. It's nothing to her. So they said to hell, But now they're stuck with Trump. And Trump, well, this Trump guy is probably gonna. He's not stupid because he can't like not appease everybody. Man, if you make too many enemies right in the beginning, man, you're done. So I mean, some people are bitching about him because he's doing this and some things he ain't doing perfect. Well, he's doing a lot better, and under the circumstances, he entered the swamp. I don't know how the hell he's going to drain the swamp when he's in it, and then that's going to be a neat trick. But what could really screw him up from left field is the millennials. They're counting on the millennials to be weak. That's what they are. That's what they're counting on. They're counting on the millennials to be weak. They're counting on the millennials not to know exactly what this country is founded on. We had a bunch of rich bastards, basically, that were pretty wealthy. They could have been playing angles with King George and saying, well, okay, we'll levy the taxes on the colonists as long as we get a better position and some more land. No, they didn't do that. In other words, they're kind of like the opposite a lot of people are today. A lot of people today, they want something for nothing. These guys already had shit, and they were risking all they had to go try to make a better world. That's how this country was founded. And I'm hot on freaking a lot of shit with the Confederacy too, because that's another elitist scam. They fought the South because of slavery. Yeah, bullshit. Wall Street was all involved in slavery to the max, man. They're so full of crapola, it's beyond belief. But anyway, the millennials can actually screw them up, along with Mr. Pewdiepie. The fact that they're worried about Pewdiepie is funny. That cracks me up, to tell you the truth. That tells me they're worried about everybody. I mean, not saying that, because PewDiePie is real big on YouTube, but he doesn't say anything against Wall Street. He doesn't go out there and say, well, they got a revolving door between Wall Street and Washington, D.C., and this is what they're doing. He doesn't do that. And he doesn't put anything out about, the crookedness of the FDA and who pays them off in pharmaceutical and all the other garbage. He doesn't say any of that stuff, man. He's avoiding all that shit. And they still don't like it because he's too big and influential. It's kind of like the principle of it. But, there was one other guy. He was some kind of gamer or entertainer or something on YouTube. He was really big. And he said something, he remarked about, some of the unvetted immigration coming over to the United States. And they came back and says, well, he should just stick with something he knows, like gaming. What do you mean he should stick with something he knows, like gaming? You think he's not smart enough to go freaking and talk about something else? Maybe you, banker, ought to stick your freaking your banking crap, and stick your freaking nose out of freaking YouTube, too. Because actually, I don't understand, where the hell does Wall Street invest in YouTube with advertising? I don't know, man. Maybe they do. Maybe they got some advertising on here. I don't really know. The lady that runs YouTube would know this shit. But I do know that you're not going to be able to be biting the hand that feeds you indirectly. You're not going to be able to do that. So right now, I'm taking a position. I'm on the side of the CEO of YouTube, which I don't know how much good that's going to do to me. I'm taking that position because I understand, what are they going to do, man? If the advertisers are bitching about, I know they're telling her, like, oh, we don't like the foul language, we don't like the what is it? Oh, there's something else they're freaking saying that it was flagged as inappropriate or something, or whatever the hell it was. I don't know exactly. We don't like that, putting our product associated with that. No, 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 no. They don't give a damn about that. They're worried about independent voices. That's what really tells you this is you got some Wall Street yo-yo sitting, spending all the time in the world listening to YouTube PewDiePie's videos. And I'm like, boy, I wish I was a fly on the wall with that shit. That would have been a riot watching this jerk freaking watch that shit. Because their head is so much geared different from, the gaming world than my head's geared different from it. But I kind of know how these guys think, man. They're freaking yo-yos, man. Anyway, but millennials, they do have a reputation today of being a bunch of crybabies, but I don't think they are. No generation is really different from the others preceding. It's a matter of conditioning, which comes from circumstances that shapes the individual in the generation. In other words, people aren't no different today than they were even in the 20s. Not in the least. But there isn't as much hardship today, generally speaking, as in the 1920s. Or before, Ever try to drive a Model T? I wouldn't get one of those damn things, I can tell you that right now. But, right now, they're getting all hell bent out of shape about this internet. And YouTube is the biggest platform out there for freaking disseminating information. I know you can make a blog someplace and it'd be like putting up a yard sign in the middle of freaking, the great national forest or someplace, You ain't going to reach nobody. You got to be using YouTube. So I think the only way around this shit, and I've noticed too, like there's these other big political channels out there right now that gazillions of hits and shit, and they're just playing the party line. As far as I know too, this is another thing. I don't even know if they got all the likes that they would have on these videos that they're like mainstream more or less. Like I did a video talking about the Chinese guy said it was always America's fault about how the trade imbalance went and shit. I said, this guy's full of it. He's lying through his teeth. And I know he is. I mean, I explained it on the other video, but, I look at this thing and I'm saying I'm watching this video of this guy and it's got a lot of likes. But then I'm thinking maybe they're not genuine likes. Hey, corporations got a lot of money. If they want to throw some it's just like advertising. That's why I don't buy likes or dislikes or anything like that. But I'm saying is that's why people do that, because people are followers. If a lot of people like something, hey, and they just consider it part of the advertising budget to buy likes for their video. It could be. So they're trying to really make YouTube into a corporate propaganda vessel like CNBC, NBC, and all this other kind of crap. And they probably are trying to take away some of the reputation for YouTube as being kind of superfluous, maybe. Now, I'm not putting a hit on PewDiePie here or nothing, but I'm saying is they said that's why they're freaking saying that millennials aren't into games anymore, maybe. That's what they said millennials are no longer interested in games anymore. I was like, yeah, bullshit. Yes, they are. And he says they're interested in things like cooking and, healthy living or some crap. And so I was thinking, that's a thing where they can keep this going, and people would look at YouTube and say, whoa, it's a nice, responsible venue. So when they put out a bunch of crap about Hillary Clinton loves everybody, they might think, well, it must be true if it's on YouTube. Yeah, right. Come on, man. Well, that's the other thing too. I mean, there's a lot of disinformation put out on YouTube. Like with, I know, like I talked about the flat Earth theory. Can't believe the number of people put that crap out. I was like, I mean, there's a lot of things you could put out about that are pretty wild that you could probably put out about, Antarctica or something. A lot of weird things going on in the South Pole. And, maybe the caverns of the United States. You know, a lot of the things are interconnected all the way down to Central America, allegedly. Um, but as far as, that's pretty weird. Or maybe the origins and who actually, you can put some conjectures out on who really made the Great Pyramids of Giza. That's food for thought. But as far as, putting out videos about flat Earth, that's designed to make anybody that puts out a video about saying, you know, whoever made the Great Pyramids of Giza must have had surveying instruments that on par with laser surveying instruments, which is true, because they're that damn accurate, which means it must have been a highly sophisticated society. And whatever happened to them, who knows? Maybe there wasn't really the flood happened in the Bible like they say, which I think it did, not just because I'm a Bible thumper, but I think it did. And, some people say, well, that's incredulous, that can't be. Well, if you associate that with a flat Earth video, then it really does seem even more impossible, because that's the modus operandi behind that. So they throw a lot of curveballs, but I throw a lot of curveballs too. So, we'll see what happens here, though. But in the meantime, I was like today, I was kind of working on my videos, putting that little square block on the end of it. I don't know what the hell they call it, the element. I don't know what the hell it's like. It's supposed to help your views or some crap. And I was thinking, well, I'll throw that on there. I did about 800, 900 videos. I got almost 5,000 videos, man. I don't even know what the hell. I was looking at these videos. I said, man, I forgot I even did all this shit. I was like, man, I'm getting a lot of weird shit, man. It's like my channel is like not really one subject. But that's what made me start thinking, man. Not every video, of course, but there's probably a lot of stuff on my channel that could probably be very beneficial to millennials. And it's not like it's rocket science, because there's a lot of weird shit I know that could be. It's like, you didn't think of it, you didn't hear of it, and this might be something Pewdiepie might want to do too if they start attacking him, because you'll really piss him off. Like if he put something out about, what vitamin C really cures, especially intravenous. You can't get that in a hospital, man. I mean, that might be the difference between life and death. Dirt cheap and stuff. I put it out. I put it out. The problem is I don't reach nobody. If he puts it out, he'd be all over the place. Boy, that would piss him off. They'd be like, PewDiePie thinks he's a medical expert. Yeah, well, it's like, you know what? You don't need to be a medical expert, because it's actually the research comes from real doctors. Except they're like the renegade doctors going against the evil doctors. Most of the doctors are all about money, and there's a few of them out there that are really damn honest. So he doesn't have to be making a claim; he just be making a reference to that. But who the hell knows, man? I don't know if that'd be a smart thing to do, because whatever he's doing, he's making the money on the freaking games, man. So I don't think he should change much. But if they try to really screw him up, I'd go balls to the wall and just throw a couple curveballs at him right back. They won't like if PewDiePie freaking revealed some stuff that they don't want known. No, they wouldn't like that. And that's why they're freaking trolling his ass. Wall Street is. So anyway, it's been a long damn video, man. I'm going to be going down to the gym here. Late night gym. And, millennials got a reputation of being like crybabies and shit. Well, everybody's a freaking crybaby at one time or another. It doesn't matter. I mean, you could be a cowboy that stepped in some cow crap or some crap back in 1895, and said, damn, these are a brand new pair of boots. Wah. But as far as, anybody being different today than what they were, no, nobody's different. It's just that the millennials are kind of, well, you know what? It's elitist policy, man. They want people dependent. The way to screw them up is to be more independent, more MacGyver, and tougher and understanding. Not necessarily tougher, but like just understanding a lot of tricks that you can get by on that you don't need your iPad to go look up a freaking or iPhone to look up an app to do something, right? Um, that would be the deal. And as far as voting, I mean, I tell you, I wish you could write in Mickey Mouse or some crap, because that's what I would do. Because um, everybody did a paper write-in ballot next time there's an election. Like, just put something stupid out there. Um, Maybe that would give them and that person won. Whether it was a cartoon character or not, maybe that would be, well, what are you gonna do now, right? So anyway, just as he used to say in the Marine Corps, not Semper Fidelis, but Semper Gumby. Stay flexible, and if they throw curveballs at you, just dodge them and throw the curveballs right back at them. That's the way to do it. And whatever they don't expect, that's what you got to hit them with. What they don't expect, and you're gonna win out. Because I got a lot of faith in the millennials, man. I know sometimes I'm looking at them like, what the hell's he doing? But hey, everybody can learn shit real fast, man. It doesn't take that much. It doesn't take that much.